Good morning. Thank you for coming to the Feel Good Foundation 9/11 Zadroga Bill Legal Forum. We are very thankful that you all turned out today to hear about very important issues to the 9/11 community. For the past, I'd say about 5 years, I've been working with the Feel Good Foundation and John Field in helping to get the Zadroga Bill passed. And through the hard work of many, including John Field, the unions, the elected officials who got it done in Washington, the Zadroga Bill passed on January 2nd. And true story, on January 2nd, I called John, I said, all right, the president signed it. What's our next mission? What are we moving on to? Okay? Then we all went to work on January 3rd, and we got hundreds and hundreds of phone calls for the next few weeks. And we realized that the work with the Zadroga Bill wasn't over, that people needed help. What is the next step? So, what we did was put together both this legal forum, a legal team that could help people, that could give answers. That's what this is all about today. This is for you guys to have information about what's going to be happening over the next few years regarding the Zadroga Bill. What are your rights? What should you expect? These men to my left, just making sure they're all men, okay? These men to my left are going to be answering all your questions. Over the last few months, I've put together a list of questions that I've been asked repeatedly. Put about 45 questions that we will ask these gentlemen that are the most important to the 9/11 community. Things that have repeated themselves over and over again, and we need answers to. We have a team today of 8 attorneys who have volunteered their time to come down and answer these questions for you. So let's get a little round of applause for them on a Sunday morning. Before we get to the kickoff with them, though, I'd like to invite to the podium the man who put this all together, who for the past month has been working tirelessly to make sure that this all came together for you and really put us up on the podium so that we can answer these questions for you. John Field.
This is the first of 2 or 3 forums. We're going to do another one as we learn more information from the DOJ. And the crowd will get bigger. And then the crowd will get bigger. But I'm asking you all to go home tonight and tell your friends what happened today. The information you gathered today. The DOJ is now working diligently with my team of lawyers and myself. Meetings, emails, phone calls. Things are going to start moving. But I'm asking everybody to remain calm. Before the bill passed, it was anger and frustration. Now there's anger, frustration, and anxiety. It took several years to get the bill passed. We're not going to get everything done in several hours. But we are going to get it done. But we have to do it together. Not one person got the bill passed. Just like on 9/11, not one person came and rescued New York City. We all came together. We all came together to get the bill passed, and now we're all coming together to make sure the rules and regulations are implemented that best serve the 9/11 community. So I thank you for coming out on a Sunday and taking you away from your families. The men behind me probably have about 100 years of college combined. So let's listen to what they have to say. You have a question that Sean doesn't ask, there's going to be microphones set up where you can ask a question. But I ask everybody to be respectful, courtesy, and act like the heroes that you are. Thank you.
The question and answer period for the attorneys. As I stated earlier this morning, I put together a list of about 45 questions that have emanated directly from my clients, people who have called me, asking me direct questions that need direct answers. And I'll start with Ed Markowitz because he addressed this portion before. But Ed, what is the Zadroga Bill and how did it come about?
Earlier, the Zadroga Act, also known, well, now it's known as the James Zadroga Act. It was originally known as the September 11 Victims Compensation Fund. It's just that. It's a fund to compensate those who were murdered on 9/11, families of those, wives, children, and also to compensate those rescue workers that ran down there so selflessly and gave of themselves and became injured because of it, seriously injured. And remember this, because I know there's more questions. This is not an entitlement program. And that's why I made a point before to continue lobbying, because there are still issues, and I'll leave it to John to talk about, which have to be worked out. There are issues of cancer, which we should be pushing very hard every day to get every single cancer included as compensation in this statute. So the lobbying is not finished. Just because this has been passed, it's only the first step in many. So please keep in touch with John and Sean and the foundation and keep those lobbying efforts up.
But I'm not an 9/11 first responder. I don't have health care. Does the Zadroga bill provide me with health care?
Yes, it does. Part of the money has been dedicated to a medical monitoring and treatment program. So you are entitled to it when the Centers for Excellence under this bill get established. You need to go to one of them and get enrolled, and the physicians there will make the determination that you are entitled to participate and you will receive medical care.
Can you just decipher between what the health care coverage and what the difference between the Victims Compensation Fund is and the health care coverage of the bill?
The health care coverage of the bill is going to be, the health care coverage of the bill is one of the largest portions that's put aside to make determinations as to whether or not your health care concern is going to be covered going into the future. The Victims Compensation Fund of it is essentially going to be the financial side of it, where the payments are going to come out of. How much is going to be there is going to be based on the number of injuries that are claimed and per injury. As Paul was saying before, the amount of money that was settled was based on the number of injuries, and then they broke it down from there based on categories. So the Victims Compensation Fund, and as Sean brought up before about lobbying, it's very important to continue to push forward because we want to get more injuries eligible for the Victims Compensation Fund. Having more injuries eligible means more health insurance for people who need it, and health claims that need it, and it also means more money to fund the awards that go along with that.
Andy, do I need to be enrolled in a Center of Excellence in order to receive money under the Victims Compensation Fund?
No, the two are entirely separate. A person is able to make a Victim Compensation Fund claim without regard to whether they are getting treatment at one of the Centers of Excellence. You raised an interesting point, Sean. The bill as written, or the act as passed, provides for an additional 25,000 people not currently enrolled in the treatment and monitoring programs to enroll to get that treatment and monitoring going forward. However, the two parts of the bill are completely separate. You are free to make a claim for victim compensation even if you don't get treatment or monitoring at one of the centers.
And just to follow up, Andy, would you recommend, if you're going to be participating in the Victims Compensation Fund, that you get treated at these Centers of Excellence, given the history that they have with 9/11 first responders?
It's a really good question. I'll put it to you this way. If you were getting treatment and care for an actual physical injury, quite obviously you should make a claim to the Victim Compensation Fund. If your healthcare needs are being addressed through your own insurance company, enroll in the program anyway for treatment and care. We don't know what the future is going to hold in terms of your healthcare coverage. We don't know if you're going to qualify, say, for Social Security disability and get Medicare, which might provide some additional coverage. So please, by all means, enroll, even if it's just to save your place, because you are entitled to this monitoring. And with diseases that take a long period of time to show themselves, monitoring is critically important, even if it's something like getting a flat plate chest x-ray, to catch the problem right when it starts. That's how I'd answer that.
Sure, can I add something to that?
Yeah, please.
I don't want to go out of order. I don't want to go out of order, but there's another issue that we all discussed with the Justice Department, which is that there's going to be a very good flow of information between the healthcare side and the Victim Compensation Fund side. So the fact that your medical care is coming from the Centers for Excellence may assist in improving your injuries. It may just make it faster, it may make it easier, or it may be even more important than that. So I agree with Andy 100% that no matter where you're getting your health care now, get into one of the Centers for Excellence, because the V.C.F. Special Master is going to be looking to them for assistance and help, which is going to help you.
Everybody's going to get a chance if you have a question to ask as soon as they're done with this. I feel your pain. I really do. And I think Noah and everybody who was in the meeting with us at the DOJ, cancer is my #1 priority, okay? And from this moment on, the Centers of Excellence, the elected officials, the DOJ, the new special master, I don't care what their title is, they're on notice. Mark my words. We got the media, and we can rally in a heartbeat. But mark my words, cancer will be added to this bill. When? I don't know, but I'm confident that this is a fight we're going to win. This is unacceptable. I don't know about anybody in this room, but I've been to about 49 funerals in the last 4 years. I made donations to 21 of those funerals, and they were all cancer. This is my #1 priority. I feel your pain. You are not alone. There are hundreds, if not thousands, with cancers. We have showed them the statistics. These men up here in their suits aren't here to look pretty. They're here to fight for you. And you can guarantee that's going to happen from this moment on.
Thank you.